almost forgot.
And welcome to the FullerWatt podcast with your host, Chris Watts and Gavin Fuller. In today's episode, hold on, let me just turn that down for a second. In today's episode, we are here at the Athlete Perth, Chris's new gym. Also, we are here today because it was the WA Female Muay Thai Sparring Day. We are going to be talking about the main card of the Muay Thai Super Series. How are you, boys?
Hey, Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Even though we're into February, just first catch up of the year, Chris.
Yeah, been lots going on for all of us, haven't there? Obviously, we've been setting up the gym, which now we've been open a month, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah,
Bhoondi, you've been away over east doing your sort of full-time gig, setting up festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah, the festivals, loving that.
Gav, you've been having some success with your fighters on RWS and been in Thailand and everywhere else to start the year, haven't you?
Yeah. I just want to go into how nice his venue is first. And secondly, thanks for hosting us, Chris. And then thirdly, thanks to yourself and Jess for hosting the WA Female Sparring Day. So tell us how long you've been open, Chris, and tell us the new location of the gym.
Yeah, so we've been open exactly 1 month. Just about 1 month. And we're in Gladstone Street in Perth. So just in the Claysbrook area. We're like 200 or 300 meters from the Claysbrook train station, just across from HBF Park. So it's been a good little spot. We had lots of people coming from the city. They come straight from work or come before work and go. So yeah, the start to the gym has been like everything we could have hoped for. It's been so great. So yeah, thanks to everyone that's sort of been involved with that. And thanks as well we want to give a bit of a shout out to NVS Construction. They obviously support the show Muay Thai Super Series, but they helped us out. We had to build a bathroom and they were just absolute dead set legends about it. They helped us out because we had absolutely no idea where to start or what to do, but they were really great about it and helped us out a lot. So yeah, thanks to MVS as well.
Yeah, they're good professionals, good guys.
Yeah, they're just good blokes. Hey, they're a good laugh when they come down and stuff. But no, they were great. Can we just move this chair a bit closer?
Yeah, go for it.
It's pretty exciting start to the year. And first Muay Thai Super Series for the year's fast approaching. Gav, how's that been going? You had much hassle, was it? Been pretty easy? What's going on?
It's been pretty easy. I had a bit of a break whilst I was in Thailand, so I took my foot off the pedal matchmaking and stuff whilst I was away in Thailand with Vinny. But yeah, once I got back, I did a lot of it before Christmas. A few of the big fights, a match before Christmas, which you would have seen when we announced those two.
A couple of big
ones.
announcements, in last week.
Yeah, a few last week.
Fantastic
as well.
announcements, man.
Yeah, thank you. We've still got a few more to release, but yeah, the pro card's looking about
stacked.
7 hours long for the pro card, and then we've got about 7 or 8 amateurs to start and open the show.
Nice. Is that going to be capped sort of at that, or do you think you'll get a couple more?
That's unless I get 1 or 2 pullouts, that'll be probably it now, Chris. Yeah,
it's good probably not to have too many with such a big main card too, right?
Yeah, my model is to have about 5 to 8 amateur fights, and then between 12 to 13 pros, but keeping the traditional 5 frees. And then in May, and August, I'm probably going to look to do a 4 or an 8 man to do because that was part of the rebuild, and the rebrand was Muay Thai Super Series, and then to have a Muay Thai Super Series competition.
Nice.
With a 4-8 woman and a 4 and 8 man, depending on the weight categories. 65 super welterweight, in Perth is pretty good, and then the girls between 55 and 61 are pretty good. So I just need to look at what categories are big for WA and Australia, but that's something I want to do in either May or August.
Yeah, nice. That's pretty exciting. Something to look forward to. But this one here is pretty stacked. What fight are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to two of my favourites. Neem returning to Perth.
Yeah.
And I'm also looking to...
From Frank's gym?
From Frank's gym, yeah. Nee versus Caitlin Tucker. So that's WBC Lightweight World Champion versus WBC Lightweight International Champion. Yeah. And a little bit biased, but I'm also looking forward to seeing Fon versus Ellie Harbour.
Yeah. So that's you're going to have 2 World Championships on that evening.
Yeah. Kong Thailand versus Joe Ryan. So welterweight, super welterweight champion. Versus middleweight champion. So it's champion versus champion. And then we've got world champion in Neve Keenan at lightweight versus Caitlin Tucker, international lightweight world champion.
That's huge fights.
Do you want to just get into the main card?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. So start fire away in the first one.
Yeah, so Shane McCrory versus Dion Alderton. That'll be, as I said, Chris, that'll be a WBC State title eliminator. And the winner of that will fight Conor Coakley, who's pretty much up there with the same kind of record as well. Super middleweight in Perth is not, or 76 kilo is not a weight category that there's a lot of people around. It's kind of like, I think you've got Mika Michael, who's the next one, who's had the 14, 15 fights up, but there's no one in between that.
Yeah. Conor Coakley on an absolute tear, though. I think he's won his last 3. His last one was like a 30-second left body kick knockout. He's super powerful, Conor Coakley.
He's been over in Thailand as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he did his training over there when he was meant to fight on this one, wasn't he? And then his opponent pulled out. So I think he went over there to train. But yeah, the fight fell through. But yeah, he's a bit of a beast. Looking forward to seeing that.
And the next one.
Ooh, Tim Levin's making his return. Beautiful. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, Tim making his comeback after, I think, it's 3 or 4 years out. Coming out to challenge Luke DeCerny at Riddler's. And again, these fights are all 5-3. So, really looking forward to this match. Seeing how, if ring rust doesn't seem to be a thing of today's modern era athletes. And I don't know if that's a testament. I think I've said it before, a testament to the quality of the coaches that we have around now, or if it's the quality of the nutrition and the information we have now. But the last couple of fights I've seen with fighters who've been out for a while, they don't seem to have much, ring rust. So.
Tim's been around in training a really long time as well. He's had 22 fights. And he's been around forever.
Yep.
So he's pretty experienced. I guess once you hit a certain level, that ring rust is probably going to be a bit less, right?
That's right. You're getting ready for fitness.
Yeah. But super excited to see Tim back in there. I'm good friends with Tim. I like Tim a lot. And Luke, he obviously lost that last one to Gabriel on. Was that the last show or the show before?
Show before.
But a really good showing. He's fought since then too. He fought over East, didn't he? I got back in the win column. So that's an awesome fight. There's some really great local matchups on this side.
Yeah, and didn't Luke fight the boy from Pursuit, Matt Diesel?
Oh yeah,
Was that a draw?
Yeah,
they fought
Empire. They
far
fought
out.
twice. Yeah,
God, time's crazy. Hey, these fought 3 times since then. Jeez.
So
sorry, Luke.
It was a draw.
Finger on the pulse over here.
on Empire. Then
then they rematched. They were good fights. Both those really good fights.
Really good fights. Yeah.
Big fan of Luke's. So I'm really looking forward to that. A really good matchup. Fighting at 64 kilos, this one. So it's a bit of a catch weight one, 64. So, but this next one I'm really looking forward to. Reese Corrigan. Fighting out of Sway versus Gabriel Ronquillo.
Is that for a state title?
Yeah, so Reese Corrigan won the super featherweight one last year against Shawa.
Yeah.
But he indicated to me that he couldn't make 59 for a long time, but just wanted to win the 59 state title belt.
So he's gone up.
And he's gone up to 61, and Gabriel's the 61 kilo lightweight state champion. So, super featherweight versus lightweight champion. Both boys have similar records, 9 fights, 7 wins for Reese, and 12 wins, 4 losses for Gabriel. Bit more of experience, but really looking forward to watching this one. Both boys have clean styles, Chris.
Yeah, I feel like Reese in the last 12 months is probably one of the most improved fighters I've seen. He's just absolutely exploded. Hey, absolutely exploded. And I mean, obviously Gabriel's a beast, and really always on the up as well. But when I first saw it, I was like, oh, maybe this will be I feel like Gabe may be the favorite by a little bit, but then I've seen Reese train firsthand recently, and then obviously watched his fights up close, his fights with Shua and that. Oh man, this is going to be super close. I actually can't pick a winner. That's my pick for fight of the night. I reckon that'll be the sickest fight. It's going to be so good. Hey.
Nice, clean technical fight.
Yeah, they both got beautiful styles.
That early,
I had that in my mind. I reckon that's going to be.
I've already picked my fight of the night.
We had Reese down here.
I've already got my fight.
We had the Sway. Then he edits it out to make it look like he's the Mystic Bhoondi. We had the Sway team down on Friday, and I was just doing a demo with Reese. All right, here's the drill we're doing, and you can sort of defend this 1-2 any way you want. And he was just whop, and just kicked me in the head and just placed it just right on my head. I was far out, super dynamic, and really super sharp. I mean, that video you guys posted of him hitting pads, but obviously as well, Gabe is he's the champ for a reason, isn't he? He's awesome, and that is honestly going to be the best fight, I reckon.
He hasn't been active.
And local fight too. Great local fight, which is pretty cool too. To have two guys that level in You
Early
know,
on in
it's
their
not an
careers.
interstate match or
There's a
anything like
good-
that.
Early on in their careers as well. Still young.
Yeah, the card's got a good mixture of local and international
Yeah,
fights.
yeah, for sure.
And national.
And national as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit.
That's good.
Your local matches are what puts bums on seats, though, right? Like your international matches are sick and for the diehards and all that kind of stuff, and you probably get like streams and whatever. But in terms of your good local matches, I feel like that's what gets people in the door, right?
This next one's going to be a good one too.
Yeah.
Big boys.
Yeah, so the next one we've got
Jake Pickett, Fon's younger brother. No, it's not Fon Pickett's younger brother, though. Jake Pickett from Scrappy MMA versus Cody Basser-Bruiser from Riddlers. Both good fighters as well, man. Both.
Cody had a little bit of time off.
Yeah. No.
No? When did he fight last?
No, you think he's had a bit of time. No, he fought in Queensland, I think.
Oh, he did.
Just
Oh,
the
yeah,
end of
yeah. No,
last
you're right.
year.
Yep.
But obviously he helps with, the gym, the Riddlers gym's very active, so he's helping spar, with Mika and everything like that, preparing their fights. So he's always in some sort of training.
Oh, yeah,
camp.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow Cody on Instagram. Yeah, they are always training super hard, aren't they? It looks good. Yeah, I like Cody a lot. Jake, I've seen Jake a few times. Hey, he's like, how would you describe his style?
he's trains in Thailand quite a bit.
Yeah,
He's
right.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Clean. He's good in the clinch. Similar kind of records: 14 fights, 9 wins for Jake. Cody Basser's had 20 fights, 9 wins, 9 losses, 1 draw. So yeah, not bad, evenly matched, close fight. This one's at 72 kilos. So
the big boys.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this one. First fight of the year for both boys. So yeah, let's see how this one goes.
This is the big first Perth show of the year, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
The next one we have
Fight of the night.
Fight of the night for you.
Yeah,
You're taking this one.
Yeah, for sure. Fight of the night. It's Shawwa Jin from Love It Muay Thai down in Albany versus Pitsan Rit or Nid from Calsock in Bibra Lake. Mate, what a fight! That's a good match.
Yeah, bit of a jump for Shawwa, isn't
Shawwa,
it?
yeah,
You
had
know?
to
Read the
Step-
records out, Chris.
Yeah, so
stepping up.
Shawwa with 9 wins, 5 losses, so 14 fights, versus Pet Samrit, 69 fights,
Hey.
49 wins, 17 losses, and 4 draws. But this is kind of what happens, though, right? Like, guys like at Shawwa's level and that sort of level, they can fight these guys with way more fights. And it's sort of like, there comes that level, right? Where you're sort of, the difference between maybe 20 and 60 isn't as big as, say, the level from like 10 to 20.
That's exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's,
0 to 20.
and as well, like Shawwa, obviously, he's super skilled and, experienced beyond his number of fights. I think that's like a really good, like, stepping stone fight.
Yeah.
So you sort of see where Shawwa is really at on that
He's an
level,
He's definitely up and he's
Yeah.
definitely a fighter with
Yeah.
the bullet, as they say. He's on the rise.
Yeah.
With Pitsan Rit, he's very experienced, and it's a good matchup for both.
Yeah, for sure.
You've got the up and coming, and then you've got the old master. So,
Yeah, for sure. And Pet coming off a couple of losses as well. So it's like
losses against
probably good for
Nathan.
him to get a fight against someone with a little bit less experience. But in saying that, Shawwa, pretty dangerous.
Yeah, so when I actually looked at this one, I actually matched this as a tentative one. I didn't think Love It would take it, just not because of the skill set of Shawwa. Let me be very clear on that. Just because of the actual
The experience record.
But when I asked Darren, would they take it against Shawwa, they said yeah. So I said to Rob, it's a bit of a step up, but would you take it? And they went yes. So I was like, great fight.
Yeah.
So,
I think if you're like really serious, like you say, Shawwa's obviously really serious to have a proper career. This is like a fight that you've really got to have at some stage. Now's the time really when he's super sharp. He's on the up. He's like, now's the time to have these fights.
He's very active. He's straight after this one. He's got the 4-man tournament in Victoria on Infinity.
And that's the way to get better, right? You just have these fights and these hard fights as well.
Well, I think with Shawwa, like last year was about him getting a name on the national stage, and he did. He did really well on the national stage.
Fight too.
And now I think this year maybe get a bit more internationals, and it's just about going up there as well. Yeah. But let's not take away anything from Pitsan Rit from Nid as well, man. What an experienced fighter he is. Yeah. Very skillful, very entertaining fighter as well. Stylistically, I think this fight is a really clean, beautiful Muay Thai fight. It's going to be a beautiful Muay Thai. That's why I'm saying this is going to be fight of the night.
Yeah, I look forward to Pitsan Rit's Wai Kru. He has a nice Wai Kru.
Beautiful Wai Kru, yeah.
So that's
got the Thai Rinkai Girls and Thai dance team for this one as well.
Yeah,
nice.
I need to check with Nick on that for booking them, but thank you for reminding me if I haven't. And this next one,
The ladies are in town.
not announced yet, but it doesn't matter because we'll have to post it.
No,
But
it's
yeah.
not. It's been announced. Has,
Yeah,
it,
it's,
has it been announced?
Softly, yeah. Misha Katz, who come in last year, fought against Saskia.
She got cut, didn't she?
She got cut on the last fight. Yeah, she
Yeah.
just had her fight recently and won. So Misha Katz from Phuket Fight Club, 23 wins, 9 losses, 3 draws. Takes on our very own local girl, Paris Rose from Monsters. 9 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. What do you reckon to this one, Chris?
Yeah, this is a sick fight, isn't it?
Because she's in the mic.
It's good to see that weight division because I know Paris has been around forever, but I think it's been tough for her to find fights because she's obviously
Yeah.
been around a long time, but there's not been the girls to fight. Whereas now there is. She just was on that 8 woman. She's fought Sienna a couple times.
Sienna a
now.
couple times, yeah.
And
They've
then-
been brawls. They've been fighting.
Yeah, and then now
fighting
like
nights.
this big fight against Maisha. It's pronounced Maisha, isn't it?
Is it
It's not
Maisha or
pronounced-
Misha?
No, it's not pronounced Misha. It's
I just want
pronounced,
remember.
yeah.
last
It's
year,
pronounced like Maisha, I think.
Maisha.
So, yeah, I think she's quite particular about that. So,
She was last year. Remember?
yeah. Which is fair enough,
Interviews.
fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just fought in Thailand. But
She
what?
fought in Thailand
Because
recently,
is she at
yeah.
Phuket Fight Club?
Yeah, she's at Phuket Fight
And
Club,
did she just fight on RWS? No.
No. She just recently fought on a show in Thailand.
Oh, okay.
And won, but can't
Yeah.
remember which show it was.
Yeah. No, that's a cracking fight. Good to see Maisha back in Perth is really cool. Is it something as a promoter, like once you've made that connection, it's good to keep getting them back and
Absolutely,
stuff?
yeah.
It's good for the Perth crowd too, right? Like they'll be like, oh, I've seen her before. Like if
Yeah.
you're maybe not super up with Muay Thai and, keep up to date with the international scene and stuff.
That's
I've
right.
seen this girl before, And it's a good way to sort of keep people coming back,
Keep
I
people
guess,
coming
is
back,
it? Yeah.
And building the profile for the fighter, and like you say, the local crowd getting to know them. But for me, I'm interested in this one because Misha Katz and Paris Rose, and then we've got the next one, which is Saskia Vaughan versus Naira Broyle for the WBC national lightweight
Naira
title.
Broyle, what a
So look at the
fun
records on this, Chris. We've got Saskia making a bit of a comeback after a couple of years off, going to uni and.
She fought against Misha and won that.
She
the
won
last,
that,
that
exactly
last one,
right.
isn't it? Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Maisha, sorry.
Maisha. So yeah, Saskia messaged me and said she wanted to go really ham for the next year or two and wanted to get some really big fights and get some belts before she retires. So,
Yeah.
I had Saskia at my gym when she was 18, when she won the Nationals. So yeah, a bit of a fan of Saskia's, she's also a fellow Welsh girl, even though she's an Aussie. So yeah, but she's standing in her ways. Naira Broyle, no easy
South
fight.
Australian girl? Good.
15 fights, 11 wins, 4 losses. So pretty good.
No, Naira's from Melbourne, right?
Naira's from Melbourne, from
Norris from
A-Blades.
Melbourne. Sorry.
Naira's from Melbourne,
A-Blades.
from Superboy's gym,
Yeah.
8 Blades gym. So yeah, both girls have got similar styles.
Yeah.
I
I like watching Naira fight. She's tough as
Very
nails,
strong,
isn't
very
she?
strong, yeah.
She had a tough draw in that 8 woman
Yeah,
that
good remember,
Katie
Chris.
Taylor
Yeah, good
took her out. But she had a tough draw when that fight started. I think
Yeah.
we spoke about this in the last podcast, so sorry. But when the final started, Naira's face looked like she'd
That's
fought
right.
100 rounds almost
Yeah,
bare knuckle.
that's
Like she'd
right.
copped a lot of punishment, but she was super game and was doing really good right up until that last bit. Where obviously Katie won, but Naira tough as nails, and I love watching her fight. I would say she's probably maybe the best in that division at the moment nationally. I think that obviously,
Naira?
I think so. Maybe even though Katie obviously won that 8 woman, I think that if you take away the wild cardness of a tournament, there's obviously a little bit of an element of that wild cardness to the tournament style where maybe you have a hard fight, someone else has an easier fight, and there's a don't want to say luck, but there's a little bit of favor to go your way maybe on the night. I feel like Naira, especially with her record, 15 fights, 11 wins, only the 4 losses.
Yeah.
Feel like she's one of the toughest in that division. So it's awesome to see Saskia, stepping up and getting these big fights is pretty cool too.
Yeah, that was my absolute stance and trying to push for this fight, because although Naira Broyle didn't win the actual tournament, as you rightly said, she had some very hard fights in that tournament. And for me, I felt like she needed a crack at the title, and looking at the most reasonable and both valid girls to fight for that, I think it is Saskia and Naira. So they're both worthy. They've both got very similar records.
Yeah.
And then, I'm looking forward to bringing Naira back to Perth, as you rightly said. Chris, good that you remembered, because I'm not too sure if the fight fans remember we've had Naira Broyle on before on that 8 woman. So was it an 8 woman or a 4 woman? 4 woman. So yeah, really looking forward to bringing Naira back and putting Saskia back on again after having a couple of years off. So yeah,
It's cool to see. I mean, I know you were saying earlier you're going to run a 4/8 woman or man tournaments in the future. It's cool to see them. They're exciting, aren't they? There's the 4-woman happening in a few weeks. That's got Bryony and Alma been announced. Has anyone else been announced on that? I think it's just Bryony and Alma.
Yeah, I think so.
Not Alma. Amanda at the moment.
Yeah.
Amanda Juniku.
but my 8 series is going to be a little bit different. So the winners will then go and compete in the next show, not on the next.
Not on the
Yeah,
same
not on the
night.
same night. Yeah,
That sort of does take that
Yeah.
wild card element out of it,
correct,
right? But,
yeah. And it's not because I don't like the, because you have to adapt if you're doing a tournament on
Yeah.
the same night as a fighter. Sometimes you can get, as Chris alluded to, you can get an easier fight and you can come away with less injuries, or you can get a big cut in the first fight
And
and
then,
then
yeah.
take that through to your next fight, or you get an injury or a broken rib, whatnot. So it's a little bit harder, but for me, it's all about I want to build the content and I want to build the story and the journey of the
Yeah.
fighters for the next
Yeah.
shows.
I think that's very
So that's
important.
the reason why I want to.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
cool.
whole story. That's probably the main reasons I love the four-man or 8 or multi-person tournament is because you get that story. You know, you can
Yeah.
follow your fighter. You can
Yeah.
say, I like this guy's story. I'll follow this
Yeah.
guy, and hopefully
Exactly.
he
It's
wins,
cool
you
as
know?
it's cool as well the way that you want to do that, Gav, is sort of like there is rankings, right? But I wouldn't say they're really followed that closely. I would say like the fighters themselves probably know where they're ranked, but outside of that, I would say nobody else really knows. And this sort of establishes almost like a little bit of like a kind of natural ranking, doesn't it? Within
right,
like, you know, your Muay Thai Super Series, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
And yeah, you do obviously get that story, but you know, if it's over the course of a year, you know, someone fights 4 times on the show and you know, you see them like knock out everyone else from their division if they win and go all the way through. It is pretty cool. Probably like means a little bit more too at the end of it, right? You know,
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
even like you're saying about your fight with Piggott and Jake Piggott and Cody Basso, that being like an eliminator. I feel like we don't really see that too much these days. I know, I mean, I can only speak for, I remember when I fought for the WMC state title way back when, they did that similar thing. There was like 4 of us and we all fought each other.
Yeah.
And then like the winners went through and fought. And that was a pretty cool way of doing it.
Yeah, it's Shane McCrory and Dion is the.
Oh, sorry. Shane McCrory and Dion, that's right.
It's all right. He's the state title eliminator, and then they'll go and fight Conor Cook
Yeah,
later
yeah.
on. But yeah, that's the bit that I want. I like. It's not same as RWS, but that's the kind of like, you know, where they all fight each other and they kind of like move forwards. That's what I want to do with the Super Series. Is like have them come back. The winner fights, you know, again on the next one. So yeah. Up with the next one. Again, one of my favourites, Prabsuek, fighting out of Kalsok. He takes on probably not a lot of people have heard of this boy, but he's very good. He's a WMO national champion. His name's Jai Van Polen. He's been on a bit of a tear in Queensland. I've been watching him for the last year or two.
Yeah.
He's a really strong fighter coming through. 24 wins, 10 losses. He's only young, so he's racked up 35 fights. He's fighting Prabsuek, who's had 71 fights, 71 wins, 21 losses, 2 draws. Had a big win on our last show, Chris, against Malcolm Hill from America. Bit of a difference in match or fight records on that last fight, but Malcolm did give Prabsuek a bit of a hard fight. You know, could have easily took a knee or folded or got an 8 count, but lasted 5 rounds. So again, really looking forward to promoting Prabsuek on this show. And in this fight, he takes on Jai Van Polen.
I haven't seen much of Jai. Size-wise, how does he compare to Prabsuek?
He's probably about the same size, probably if not a little bit bigger.
What weight's this one at?
This one's at 63.5.
Is that a bit up on what Prabsuek fought Malcolm at? Because they fight at 61?
Yeah, they fought 61.
Yeah.
So 63.5.
Because I think Prabsuek kills himself for 61, right?
Correct,
So 63, you're probably going to see.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, he was a beast at 61 still. But I
Yeah.
think in the later rounds, he said he sort of started to take his foot off the gas once he kind of knew he'd won because he was tired from his weight cut. So it'd be cool to see him at 63 and see like a full version of him or
That's
like a
right.
more energetic version of him. Because, yeah, he's pretty amazing, isn't he? You know?
Slick, very slick,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
slick fighter. I'm a big fan of his. But you're right, because when I spoke to Darren, he said, oh, can we try and get him at 63.5, maybe 65, but 63.5 being his preferred. So, yeah, again, as I said, style mix fights. I think Jai Van Polen's on a bit of a tear over East. Not many people have seen him on this side. So it's
No,
gonna be
I,
really
to
good
be honest, haven't. So I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, so it's going to be good to promote him, Chris. So,
Yeah.
yeah, really looking forward to that one.
And correct me if I'm wrong, and I think we said this last time too, but Pragsuik was still fighting in the stadiums right before he came over. Is that right? And he's still like at the absolute top of the game.
Top elite, yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty awesome to have that level fighting in Perth so regularly, isn't it?
Yep.
We're lucky to have him.
Super exciting.
Very
It's
lucky.
great.
Very
Hey?
exciting, yeah.
Really great. And next you've got your very own Fawn Pigot
Fine figured. This is going to be fight of the night.
versus Ellie Harbour.
Man,
two
good
brothers.
fight. Good match.
Over in the UK, Ellie Harbour.
Yep. Yeah, Ellie's had about over 100 amateur fights.
Yeah.
She's 10 times gold medalist in the amateur scene. So
Well, both of them are reigning. They both won gold medals at the WBC Amazing Muay Thai Festival. It was at Bangkok last year.
Ellie was a weight division heavier than Fawn for that competition, I believe.
think so, I
and
think
then
so.
she's coming down. Does she fight? Was that just for that tournament she fought at that weight, or is that her usual fight weight?
I think she was, from speaking to Cal, a coach now, I think she's kind of like, finding, she's growing.
She's only young, isn't she?
an athlete, so I think she's kind of like finding where she sits with her
Right.
weight. But at the moment, this one's going to be at 53 kilos. But she has fought heavier, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but she was fighting. She swapped gyms. She's
gone to university, yeah,
in Liverpool now.
Yeah.
She's at
She's with Joe Ryan, Two Brothers, and Carl Ryan, his dad. Sorry. So she's training out at Two Brothers in Liverpool while she's at uni there. And yeah, whilst I was bringing Joe Ryan to fight Kong, it made sense, to try and bring another fighter to try and match someone locally. And that fighter was Ellie Harbour, who could compete against Fawn. So yeah, really looking forward to this one.
Well, she's been over before. She's been over in Perth before, and she's always wanted to fight on your show.
She
as
has,
well.
yeah, she's asked for a while. So so it makes, I'm really excited for this one. For Fawn, she's been training for the last 10 years now, 14 fights, 14 wins. This is a big step up for Fawn. And, if Fawn does well in this fight, win, lose or draw, this will really hopefully cement her own confidence. But yeah, well,
Internationals.
Internationals. I'm really confident we'll have a good game plan and Fawn will be coming out victorious on this one.
It's pretty rare you see 14 fights, 14 wins. Hey, Fawn's a bit of an anomaly. She's like obviously works super hard, but she's a bit of a freak, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's, for like how her size and like how hard she hits and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think with now obviously with a fiance Alex, doing the strength program for her, and then really understanding her body now. She really she does her weight cuts properly. She does her strength and conditioning properly.
She's got more muscles than a seafood platter. She's shredded, isn't she?
A little bit biased, but from when we first started as a coach and fighter, you both evolved together. So the knowledge is a lot more now. As I said, she's also with Alex, who helps her, with a mental side. He's a partner, and also with strength and conditioning as well. So she gets good pads, good training, and then she goes and does the sparring around Perth, with the girls. So she's got everything in her step now to finish with. Hopefully some big fights and some big accolades behind her.
Yeah, nice. That's pretty exciting, is it? So, yeah, big year ahead for Fawn. Let's kick it off with this.
Yeah.
Big fight against Ellie. Good to see Ellie back in Perth. Exciting.
And the next one, Chris? Do you want to talk about the next one?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the first of the WBC World Titles.
That's right, yes.
Yep. Neve, the defending champion.
Yeah,
correct.
Did she win the belt here on your show?
She defended the belt against
She defended
Shannon.
the belt against Shannon, yeah?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, what a
Couple of years
beast.
ago.
She's a beast, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to have. It's again another returning face. Is it from international? Is cool. Does everyone just love a bit of a holiday in Australia too?
Yeah, there's a
It's
bit
a good
of,
draw card to that.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. But me as a promoter, these are fights I actually want to see. So,
Yeah.
and being a fan of, with Max, seeing Max McVicker and Neem grow up together, as youngsters, and then bringing. We had Neem and Max on the same show before.
That's correct,
Remember when Max fought.
The Damo?
No, he fought. It might have been Damon, or it might have been. Was it the boy from Andrew Parnham's gym? Name's got the Thai. It's gone.
Sing Payak.
Sing Payak. Yeah.
Ah,
I
yes.
Don't know if it was Sing Payak or if it was Damon, but it was. Yeah, they were both on the same show. But no, just we also promised, Neem, when she did come out and defend the title, that we'd get her back again, before she retires.
Yeah.
So obviously looking around in Perth / Australia for someone at 61, not really easy. But Caitlin took her last year, as you saw, won the WBC lightweight international title against Katie Katie
Rose, yeah.
Katie Rose. So yeah, that was a fight that I was looking at closely, obviously to then match against Neem.
Yeah. Good gym as well. Coach Scotty.
Lucky 9 gym. So yeah,
Lucky 9.
So we're bringing Caitlin out to challenge Caitlin, who's the WBC International Lightweight Champion, 17 wins, 6 losses, 3 draws. Takes on the current and reigning and defending Neem Keenan, who's the WBC Lightweight Champion, 25 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. So yeah, both similar records.
Yeah.
It's champion versus champion. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
Caitlin from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lucky 9, yeah.
She's been over before to Perth,
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah,
she?
yeah.
She's fought a
She's
few
fought.
times. Once or
she's
twice.
fought, I think she's fought.
No, she
once.
fought Victoria in that draw.
Yeah, she fought
draw.
Victoria.
Oh yeah, and then did she fight on that 4-woman when you guys were MTGP? No.
I can't remember. I don't know if we've had a once or twice. I'd have to
Yeah,
look back
yeah,
on the
yeah.
old
I think so,
posters.
yeah.
I'm trying to get the old posters put up in the gym so I can see, the past shows that we mean, both Darius and I
nice.
and the ones I'm doing now, just to remember, because my memory's
That's what happens though, is it? It all blends into one. It's like, and especially, I feel like this time of year too, like we were talking about the boys just before, Luke, and I was like, Luke didn't fight since last time. He's fought like 4 times since then. Just time flies, doesn't it? It's a bit scary at the end of the year.
Yeah, December and January was a bit of a blur. I
Blur,
think,
yeah,
Chris.
for sure. Man, next fight. How do you go about making this happen? This is pretty awesome.
This is the second of the world titles.
Yeah, Joe Ryan versus Kong Thailand. Joe Ryan just fought Petch Morcott on RWS recently. That was his last fight, right?
That was his last fight. Yeah, came
and
up short.
Did good though, like very close.
Yeah, a
Like,
few people, a bit of controversy in that one. A few people in Thailand and across the world thought that Joe won that fight against Pet Moricott, one of the living legends, fighting at that high weight of, was it 72 for the RWS? Sorry, for the Raja belt. And Pet Moricott defended again last night against Josh Hill. So I think Josh Hill versus Joe Ryan would be a good fight.
That's another, for sure.
Good. Obviously for the UK, not for Australian market. But really looking forward to this one, as you were saying, Chris. Kong Thailand from Kalsok, 71 wins.
He's
10
been over in
losses.
Perth for ages, but he's not actually fought in Perth yet, has he? He's fought over East
A lot
couple
over
times.
East. He's won his world titles.
Yeah, I don't think he's fought in Perth yet, so that's
His
a bit of a
first
treat.
major win was the 8-man tournament
On Rebellion. Yeah.
Then he fought Lewis Kajiba for the world title.
for the world title.
Yeah.
Super welterweight.
Yeah.
Won that on my good friend Aram's show. Big shout out to Aram.
Very good IQ, mate. He's stepping up in weight, is he? Or
he's
stepping
stepping
up in weight. So he's had to relinquish.
No.
that belt?
So he's still, if he wins it, he'll have to choose one.
One or the other,
But
yeah.
he can be a champion for a couple of days and then he'll have to make a decision. But it's middleweight champion, which is Joe Ryan, versus super welterweight champion in Kong. So it's champion versus champion.
Are you going to organise for Joe to do some seminars and stuff? You'd assume he would when he's here, right?
Yeah, if he wants to. Yeah, I've not really pushed that hard, but
Yeah.
if he wants to, not
I
a
feel
problem.
like Joe Ryan's pretty hot property at the moment in terms of like, that obviously amazing fighter and fights and stuff, but I feel like the social media presence and stuff like that is really everywhere, and his style's pretty cool to watch, like lots of head kicks and pretty dynamic, isn't it? Like, I feel like,
He's got a nice style.
yeah, for sure. Now that'd be a great fight. I'm looking forward to seeing Kong
If you want him,
first
I'll
time.
ask him. If that's a-
Roast me
if that
or
was a-
maybe.
if that was
Oh
a-
no, it wasn't. It wasn't. I was just interested because I feel like that's one that would sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, he's pretty popular in the UK and around the world.
Yeah, for sure.
I think 2024 in the UK he got fight record English Fighter of the Year, so he was voted Fighter of the Year in the UK. But yeah, really looking forward to welcoming Joe. It's been a long time coming. About 3 or 4 years we've tried to bring Joe to the UK, but sometimes it's good for him to build a bit more of a profile than bring them out. But yeah, Joe Ryan's record: 90 fights, 78 wins, 11 losses. Kong Thailand from Kalsok, 71 wins, 10 losses. So similar kind of records.
Is that one of those ones like Joe? He's obviously super young, and he went through the UK system. Did he do the class thing where he was like they were fighting his kids without the head contact and stuff?
That's right. Yeah, he's come through the UK.
Yeah.
So like pretty much
And
like
is that
George.
90? Is that like 90 of
In
like
total,
say
in
pro,
total,
or is
yeah.
that with those as well?
With those as well,
Yeah,
with
okay.
those as well.
And then, but obviously Kong, like all his fights in Thailand, a little bit different, is it?
bit
I mean, not
different,
really,
yeah.
because I mean the English scene and the UK scene's obviously like bonkers at the minute for talent and how good they are. But it's just interesting because like I feel like, and then we speak about this every podcast, so sorry if you're sick of hearing this, but
No, it's
I
true.
feel like obviously we're
they're not
producing
full Muay
amazing
Thai.
fighters, right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
producing amazing guys. You've got Damon Nelson that's, come through from junior. You got Shannon. You've got all these amazing fighters. But I wonder if we would have even more if we had a bit more of an amateur system where the kids could fight every other weekend when they're really young. Like Max McVicker, like George Mann, like, those guys that have gone through that system. Even Tyler Hardcastle, I think, started in that system too, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it'd be cool. I mean,
I think as a state we're pushing for it. We
Yeah,
have,
there is-
we have the sparring days now. We have the MTA sparring days. We have, junior sparring days at other gyms. I think it's just in Australia we have such more of an open, vast country where everything's outdoors. So you have a lot more choice for football, soccer, cricket, AFL. Whereas in the UK you're locked up 9 months of the year because the weather's shit. So you tend to do an indoor sport, but also I think Thailand, even though it's their global sport, in the UK it's probably they're probably their most popular sport.
Oh, really?
Yeah, outside of football. Yeah.
Because you can do it indoors.
Correct.
Probably. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, you look at the kids now, 12, 13, 14, they've had, in answer to Chris's question, they've had like 50, 60 amateur fights. There's amateur shows in the UK for juniors, like 3 or 4 shows on a weekend, every weekend.
Yeah, it's
Just
madness,
the volume.
isn't it?
Just
Yeah,
the volume.
that's the thing. That's what I'm getting at. It's just the ability to fight so frequently. And I mean, I guess we are definitely getting there, even with the amount of promotions there are in Perth and around Australia. But just for like those real young juniors, just when you look at the quality that's come out of that. But yeah, we have spoken about this in the podcast before, so we'll not bore you to death with that.
And the next one, Chris?
Oh, and just going back, sorry, not to give away your secrets and stuff. How do you get these guys over, like Joe Ryan and that? Do you just chuck them an Instagram text, or do you know them from your connections back in the day when
He's
you were
got massive connections.
over the
this
ditch,
boy.
or what? Yeah,
Well,
it's
no,
crazy.
I went out to watch Joe Ryan fight on RWS. Been a big fan of his for a long time. Watched him and his dad, and his younger brother build the profiles up. But yeah, I went out to watch him a few times, supported him, obviously. Just a big fan of the, I'm always on the pulse for seeing who's, as a promoter, you need to watch globally who's coming through, James Cossack's another one that I'm really a big fan of, trying to get him, but he's locked down in rebellion, but would love to bring James Cossack. I'm a big fan of his, but my answer to your question, I'm always, like you were saying, it's when you're a Muay Thai fan or a gym or an owner or a coach, it never stops, does it, Chris?
For sure.
You're always
I don't know how you do it, man.
and as a promoter, I'm always looking, but I've known, as I said, I spotted George Mann when he was younger, Max, Joe Ryan.
I think you've got to be a fan yourself, right? And I think you're
Correct.
probably a fan first before you're a promoter and everything else, really, aren't you?
Yeah, but I also have the connections with home as well, like with Alfie and Alex, another good strong team in Liverpool. I try, Liam and Bad Company, they've got a lot of juniors coming through and teenagers coming through.
Is it and again, you don't have to tell us, we can obviously edit this out if you want, but is it a bit of a risk bringing over all these big names? Because I'm assuming it's not cheap. Like, they're going to want a purse that's warrants the level they're at. Plus, like, flying all the way from the UK is not cheap. Plus, their team and everything else.
Time.
Is it a bit of a risk of like making your money back, or not really? Is that not really something that you are that not bothered about? You obviously, but
I just want to see some of the big fights, and I think Joe Ryan versus Kong Thailand outside of one championship's probably one of those big fights.
It is a big fight.
for sure. Yeah.
and,
Two big
and,
names.
And as a promoter, I want to put big fights on, what people want to see, but obviously it's hard when people are getting tied down to contracts and fighting on promotions where they can't go elsewhere. So it's then you're looking for big fight names and big fighters who can come onto a show. So this is one of those fights.
Just out of interest, because I feel like, I mean, we've obviously done this for the last Super Series, and I feel like, have we done it for 2 Super Series now, or just the one podcast?
So, no, just the one Super
Just the
Series.
one.
yeah.
But I feel like the
October
one.
was the first show.
Oh yeah,
for
that's
Super
right.
Series.
that was the first show.
But I feel like both times it's like bonkers. I feel like you're outdoing yourself with the big names every time. It's like, where do you go from here?
Well, ideally, it's a good question, that, because I sat with Adam from live stream the other day and we were talking about, in Australia and more in Perth, who are the real big names that we can promote right now at the moment. George Mann's had a bit of a back step. Roy Wills has retired. Jordan Godfredson's just retired. Kumsab, is he going to come back this year? We don't know. We'll hopefully wait and see. But, the ones that are coming up and are big at the moment, we are promoting, like Ashby Tink. We promoted him last year for the national title. We've had Shannon Gardner on before. So now it's about, if you look at the levels, now it's the Reese Corrigans, it's the Shawas, it's the Saskias, it's the...
Start trying to help make that next big star.
It's the next big star. And I think we've not gone through a bit of a plateau, but we're at that stage now where there are young ones coming through, 18, 19, 20, where we need to push. But there's no one really big at the moment I believe, in Perth right now.
I suppose this is where your Shawaz versus Pet Sam Rip fights make a bit of sense too, right? Like getting that step up.
But no, in answer to your question, I love putting on the big fights. If there was a superstar in Perth that could fight, Joe Ryan every week, I'd match it, not just Kong.
I feel like as a bit of an outsider looking in, I do feel like you must sit and be like, what do I actually want to see as like a Muay Thai fan? And then you're like, I'm just going to put it together. I'm just going to see if I can make it happen. Like bit of a dream, sort of like you're playing fantasy football with Muay Thai in a way. That's what it feels like anyway. And it's cool. I'm here for it 100%. Yeah. It's awesome. Please don't stop doing it.
No, absolutely it is. And it's like, when you're watching fights and you have scenarios and you're matchmaking, it's like, right, if that person wins that fight and this person wins that fight, right, what's the next move?
You got to put that ADD to good use, hey Gav.
Yeah. So, you're also, it's also chess moves. You're also looking for, if that fighter wins, then right, where can we go take them next? And it's all a game of chess in terms of next moves.
I do also really like that, and you did also speak about this last time, when a fighter loses, it's not like, oh, we just don't, like trying to, like, obviously, Maisha's lost on the last show, but is back, like, still...
Perhaps Sook's lost.
Yeah, trying to change that attitude of like, well, I mean, we don't really have it in Muay Thai, it's more of a boxing thing, of course, but like someone losing, like...
Only accountants care about zeros.
Yeah, for sure. And that's good, right? Like, gets them back and gets them in and moving. And even you were saying about Nathan Embleton, you were like, even though he lost his belt, you were like, you're still obviously going to try and promote him again and bring him back.
Promote him again in May,
so that's really cool as well,
So basically, as a promoter, it's about building stories as well, yeah?
Absolutely. Well,
building the characters, building the
fighters
stories.
Are the stories.
Yeah, fighters are the stories, yeah.
Just quickly, this just popped in my head. I really wanted to speak about this. We posted the Instagram clip about us talking about AI judging fights.
Yeah.
Did you see on the Usyk versus Fury fight, they had an AI judge?
Really?
I reckon that the Saudis are listening to our podcast and they have decided to steal our ideas. Did you not see that? No. They had an AI judge. It didn't count as an official scorecard, but they scored it.
Did they get the scoring right though? That's the question.
Well, they scored it the same as I scored it, so they must have. It must be good.
It must be good. It must be good. But I think we're going to go that way. But we digress.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted you can chop that out or do whatever you want with it, but I'm just saying.
We're not.
We're ahead of the times here on the FullerWatt podcast.
That's a good segue of talking about up and coming and building characters and building fighters. The next fighter, Vincent Vittore from Your Gym GTG versus Brian McMahon from 8 Limbs Gym in Sydney. These two are up and comers as well, mate.
Yeah, Vinny's 14 fights now, 12 wins, and 2 losses.
Impressive win, last win on RWS.
Yeah, and in this one he's got Brian McMahon from 8 Limbs in Sydney. So 16 fights, 9 wins, 7 losses. So similar kind of records. Bit of a step up for Vinny in this one, taking on a national opponent again. Yeah, as you rightly said, we went to RWS recently and fought on the RWS platform, which was really great. Bit stressful. We had three different opponents in a couple of days.
That's Thailand though, right?
That's Thailand, as I messaged you, Chris, when I was away. It was a bit stressful in the background, but just more to make sure his family, when they were coming over to see him, that they could see him compete. But
was it the second fastest knockout in RWS?
29 seconds is
second
correct.
Fastest?
It was correct, yeah.
So it's pretty good effort.
Ben was saying that, the promoter came up and says, "You just missed out."
Oh, really?
I don't know. I don't know what the accent was just then. But he said, "You just missed out by 10 seconds or something like that." So,
yeah, I don't know if it was the fastest or whatnot. It was just, I was just happy for Vinny to get
an actual fight in there.
Actual fight and the first win, training in Thailand.
Is it pretty awesome being on RWS, like all the production and stuff? It must be unreal walking out as a coach. I mean, obviously as a fighter, but it must be cool for yourself as a coach. Hologram thing they've got going on with the roof is bonkers, right?
Yeah, that was pretty insane. So like after the prelims, they do like a 5-minute video production, and then they'll tell a story about, how Muay Thai started in Thailand.
And
then they put that on the ceiling, and then they'll have like the Raja belt and the Raja history of the Rajdamnern belt, and then they'll have that floating across the ceiling like a 3D hologram. And then just the whole of our RWS have got it. They have like a kissogram. They have like a dancergram. They have like
The
a
flex cam.
flex
Next
cam.
year. Remember that
They
flex
just-
cam? With
Just,
Fon was on it.
Fon was on it. That's right, versus Alex. But the whole just the whole journey of like taking you through the prelims, and then just like how they have the international fighters, and then they have the ties. They're bringing back the Rajadam Nurm belt again, which I think is key, you know, to the
Yeah.
success of
Oh.
Muay Thai in Thailand. And I think just them really singing. And I said this I had a chat with Kevin about this because I went to.
Kevin Nook,
Yeah,
WBC.
I was just speaking to a couple of friends, Kevin being one of them, and we were talking about like how after COVID I went to the stadiums and the stadiums were just dead. Like I went to a couple of shows and there were like 100 to 200 people in there, and the atmosphere was just gone. And then just like I just said to Kevin and a few others, do you think Thailand now realizes with Muay Thai that they have a brand and an identity which is not just good for athletes, but just good for the country, the economy, the gyms. And I think since COVID happened, and then that re-energization of like, you know, being able to get longer visas to stay in Thailand, train for a bit longer. You know, a lot of the fighters now, the UFC fighters, they're going down to MMA gyms, they're doing their fight camps there. Muay Thai fighters, you'll see like Joe Ryan, Josh Hill, Vinny, they'll all go, not just ours, but people you know, they all go and do their fight camps in Thailand.
In Thailand, yeah.
And
Yeah, it must be big business, right?
Yeah, mate. Especially like places like Sinbi.
And then just finish with, you know, with their coach coming out for the last week just to fine tune with them. And I just think the sport, both amateur and professional, is just going in the right direction after COVID, and I think it's great to see.
COVID also was the catalyst for the slight shift to like entertainment Muay Thai too, right?
That's right.
You know,
Three-rounders.
in
The three-rounders,
and
yeah.
stuff like, which, you know, I mean, like, say what you want about it or whatever, but I feel like Muay Thai is the most popular it's ever been, and it is growing, whether you know, like the format or like the style or not. You know, it's only a good thing for like eyeballs on the sport, I guess, and good for, I mean, you know, gyms being busy, and you know,
Gyms are always busy, mate.
in the area we're in, you know, I mean, in Perth, there's a gym on every corner, and they're always really busy and stuff. And yeah, that's got to just be people watching and people being more aware. It's in the
I think
zeitgeist now, isn't
the
it?
zeitgeist. I like that word, zeitgeist. The zeitgeist. But yeah, I couldn't do this as well. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
You know, the popularity of Muay Thai, you know, allows me to do this sort of stuff and earn a little bit of money from it too. Yeah. So I'm hopefully that I can earn all my money from this one day. But okay, and the last fight of the night, boys. Chris?
Marina Verissimo versus Whitney Tuna from Champions Gym.
Champions, yeah.
And Marina from SRG.
Good gym,
18
SRG.
fights for Marina and 12 fights. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, no, 18 fights for Marina and 12 wins, 5 losses. So 18 fights as well for Whitney. So don't really get much more than that. Whit just had baby number 2 and just had a bit of time off. So first fight back after baby number 2. Marina, I did know, I've just spaced on it. When did she fight last? It was not all that long ago. Definitely sooner than when Whit fought.
Yeah, I think it might have been October, November last year.
Yeah.
October, November last year.
Right
But
on,
yeah,
yeah.
she's had 18 fights, 8 wins, 10 losses. Whitney, 12 wins, 5 losses. So pretty
This
good.
at
close
52?
records. 55.
55.
55 and 5-2s this one. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Good to have Whitney on.
Is that a last fight of the night?
Last fight of the
That's
night,
a bit
yeah.
cruel making the mum with 2 kids fight so late. Her bedtime's probably like
Well,
7:30,
tell them
bro.
they've got a night off, and then I think they're off out for a big night. after
Ah,
the fight,
okay.
so,
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, you couldn't have put them on earlier so they could actually go and enjoy themselves? I'm just joking.
It was really hard to move this card around. I actually sat.
Yeah, I bet.
Sat and moved this card like 3 or 4 times.
Have you put, where is Caitlin from New Zealand? Because I didn't realize how big New Zealand's time difference is.
Yeah.
Jess's cousin's been living in New
4 hours
Zealand.
ahead or something.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was so big. Jess's cousin's been living in New Zealand, and whenever they try call, they're always like in bed. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like 6 o'clock. But I thought it was like the same as like Sydney, where it's like 2 hours or something. It's massive, is it?
More closer.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Do you think about that with the streams, like
I
trying
did,
to put them?
yeah.
And same with the UK guys too, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. But you know what? We've also got Aram Sean in 1774 on the same night. We've got a turn
Oh,
on
really?
the same night. So Caitlin Tucker's family are coming to watch her fights.
Oh, cool.
So that's why it's moved down a little bit more.
Right.
If they weren't coming, she'd have gone.
You'd have gone in the middle,
She'd have
yeah,
gone a bit
yeah.
closer up. But this one was a big headache in trying to get this right. So yeah, it's
Cool to see Whitney
landed
back.
Where cool to see Whitney back. It's a fight card I'm really excited to be seeing. It took a lot of work to get it there. And yeah, I'm excited, Chris.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. How can you not be? It's great. Got sponsors. Who are your main sponsors for this one?
NVS Construction again, coming back again. Thanks to them. We have. I don't know who our sponsors are this year. should know. We have got quite a few coming
Yeah.
up. We've got Palmerbet coming back. We've
Nice.
got Primo have come back again, so big shout out to Primo for 2025. And they're going for a bit of a reshuffle with their just spending a lot of money getting their new shop ready in Thailand. So
They just picked up.
yeah,
They pick up Sanchez.
they picked up Sanchez, one of their brand ambassadors. Yeah. So, but yeah, we've got some big sponsors.
The Primo gear is good too.
Primo,
Got Primo gloves. I love them. They're sick.
Primo quality. But yeah, honestly, Chris, yeah, big shout out to our sponsors. Don't know all of them yet because my wife takes care of most of that. So big shout out to Nick.
Big shout out to Nick. Yes.
The real boss.
But yeah, I just do the matchmaking, then just
Yeah.
do the exciting bit, which is getting my fighters ready.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Oh man, yeah, super excited. What's the date of it?
22nd.
February 22nd. That's
Nice,
right,
couple of
Boone.
weeks.
And where we can get tickets?
Tickets will be online, and tickets will be available for the gyms as of tomorrow.
As of tomorrow.
That's right.
So just keep an eye on your socials and for all the tickets.
And the only place
everything
you can
coming up.
stream it is Live Combat Sports. Don't stream it from anywhere else.
Yes. The number one
There's quite a few
combat
scams.
sports
How good are
platform
these
in Australia.
scams getting though?
Yeah.
Sometimes they even, I'm like, they almost got me.
They even sent me friend requests, bless them.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so at least I know not to accept it. But no, yeah, big shout out to Adam. I caught up with Adam on Friday for a bit of lunch, talked about the plans for this year. And yeah, we're also looking to engage with Sports Authority of Thailand to do a show in Perth this year as well.
Yeah.
With some backing from them. So fingers crossed that can work. But no, I'm a bit biased. I don't normally push my fighters out there for really big fights. So, because we're small. But I'm really looking forward to both Fon and Vinny's fights because two big, an international step up for Fon and Vinny's got a big national step up. And then looking forward to the two world titles, and then the national title, and then the state title. Yeah,
as
so
well.
we've got four WBC fights on.
Oh wow.
You always make me laugh. You got Fawn, who's 14-0, WBC gold medalist. You've got Vinny, who's got the second fastest knockout on RWS, and you're like, oh, we're just a small gym. I'm just a part-time coach.
He's also I'm a part-time coach.
It's like,
but,
mate, you're allowed to say that you do a good job. It's fine because you do.
He is also Vinny's also a silver medalist from last year.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, Vinny. Yeah, that's true. I do remember that. We're just small. We're just a small gym.
no,
we
just
just
a
do.
But no.
And you got exciting news about a new coach coming over?
Yes,
can we talk about that?
Oh, yeah. So, we've got three things to talk about. We've got what Bhoondi's planning this year for the WBC. We've got a bit more promotion for your gym to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've just had. I've been watching this guy for a couple of years now. Nontachai Sitho. He was one of my my friend James Carr Shorty, who was one of my coaches for a while when he came back to live in Perth. He was one of the first foreigners, along with my old coach Dean White, who had Nonki Payuf in the UK. They were one of the first foreigners in the early 90s to go to Sitho Gym in Buriram, which was very famous. They had a famous fighter there called Chanrit Sitho, fought Richard Cadden from Bad Company on Dean White's show. They had a very famous fighter called Fatishon, who was really good and known for his teep push kicks. And then they also had Nontachai as well as a few boxing champions. So that camp was a very good gym. I think Nongo was originally there as well. Nongo was there as a junior before he was sold to Petchendy. So they had a very good, strong stable of gym. He was a superstar, fought Sam Kaur, fought some of the superstars in the golden era of Muay Thai, Chris. And then he went off and trained at Evolve for 7 years in Singapore. So, yeah, good stable of coaches. He can speak good English. He was former pad holder for Nongo and Same when they won their ONE FC belts when he was in Evolve. He's been back home for about 3 to 6 months, I think. 6 months. So in the background, we were just looking to try and find a coach, and he's one that I really wanted to bring. So I think he's 3 times Lumpini champion, 2 times Thailand, 1 times Raja, 1 WMC, voted Fighter of the Year twice in Thailand at 2 different weight categories. So
Wow.
he's got good credentials.
Looking forward to He's going to be doing PTs and stuff.
we're
I'm looking
just
forward to doing some PTs with him.
And GTT is just a small gym.
Yeah, just a small gym,
just
mate. Little gym.
Just a small gym.
Part-time coach.
I'm just looking to just be able to delegate this year because I'm 50 this year, getting old now.
Big 50th, mate. Big
Yeah,
old
so
mate.
your body starts to slow down a bit.
Can't handle the benders like you used to, eh?
Not even the benders, Chris. Just holding pads for Big Vinny. You know,
Yeah, it's hard work.
90 kilos when he's a couple of weeks out from peak condition. It's like it's a bit hard, but no.
So, yeah.
Bhoondi, I hear you're working on a pretty exciting project.
Yeah, I'm working on a documentary about the Mongkon. So it's going to be a series. So the series is about the Mongkon. So the pilot episode is going to be the history of the Mongkon, the spiritual side of the Mongkon, and then I want that to be like a pretty much feature. I'm going to Thailand to film some scenes for the doco. I want to get Pinky Donald to narrate it as well, and I'm going to pick his brain for the spiritual side, the Sakient, isn't it?
Sakyan, yeah.
Sakient as well, that side. And then after that, I've already started doing interviews with coaches. I'm going to hit you up too, Gavin.
Nice.
So basically, every Mongkon has a story. Every Mongkon's gym has a story, and it's uniquely, every Mongkon's uniquely different to every gym. So I want to get that story. So I've been going around collecting stories. So it'll be the pilot, and then after that will be episodes of every gym around the world. So I'm going to Verona this year to follow the Australian team at the WBC Amazing Muay Thai Festival in Verona. I'll get some stories there, and then I'll be going to the UK to obviously do some podcasting, some interviews there for Muay Thai, and also getting more stories for the Mongkon, and then after that try and go off to the US.
Nice.
And doing the same thing, going to the gyms. Patrick, US Muay Thai is going berserk at the moment. So I want to go and capture there, capture what they're doing over there in the US, and then Thailand.
Where you've already started filming this already, like bits of it already?
Oh yeah, I've started doing the interviews with the coaches.
Whereabouts will people be able to watch it once it's sort of
It'll
done?
be on YouTube. Yeah. See, but I'm financing this myself. It's all backed out of my own back pocket. It's a venture that I want to do. It's something like I've always said this, and people know my story. So I love hearing stories. I love telling stories, and Muay Thai's got beautiful stories. And my northern star is I'm a storyteller.
Yeah, yeah.
So I want to be a storyteller, and the best way to tell stories is through documentary. So
Yeah, super excited to see that, Burn. It's awesome.
Yeah. So it's just going to chuck it on YouTube. I might ask for some sponsors.
Yeah, I was going to say, if anyone's keen on sponsoring that, just check your inbox on Instagram or something.
Yeah, just check your inboxes. But that's the big project for this year. I want to have that. Yeah,
I think sometimes with some of the promotions and stuff now, you can cut this out, but I think with some of them, the Wai Kru and the Mongkon's kind of like being eradicated just due to money.
Yeah.
You see it sometimes where they've got the T-shirt on and they'll pull the T-shirt off and the Mongkon falls on the floor.
Yeah.
And there's no there's no why, there's no getting in the ring and taking that off. And that's the bits that I really like about RWS is they still let the fighters do the Wai Kru. They wear the Mongkon. They don't forget.
You just get close to them.
This is very unique to our sport, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this doesn't have to be in the podcast, but my Mongkon comes from Sitmonchai. It's written by the monks. Was made blue and yellow, which is specific. Chris will know blue and yellow.
Leeds,
blue and yellow's Leeds United. It's got an Ajahn. It's got it's got a Prajat on there.
Yeah.
And an amulet that's given to me by Ajahn Toy for power, which was blessed. And then it's got pink on there as ribbons that were blessed for the girls as well. So So my Mongkon, and my Mongkon's got Thai writing all the way around it. So mine's very.
See, this is what I'll be hitting you up for that story, mate. So
this doesn't have to be in the podcast.
I'll probably put it in the podcast. But that's exactly what I want, and I think people find that interesting. But that's the unique part of our sport is the Wai Kru, the blessing of the Mongkon, the traditions.
I feel like there's something to it. Like when you go to the shows. A good example is a Ramo that really sticks out in my head is when Max fought Damon, and it was really awesome. But then he does the like took Damon's hand and pulled him to like the middle, and it was like a bit of showmanship that kind
Yeah.
of goes with it too. I mean, there's obviously the spiritual side of it, but I think that like when it's done really well like that, that's
can
a
be
really good
entertaining,
example.
yeah.
It's the best, you know. And then like with the Mongkons and stuff, I feel like when I don't know if you've ever been to like a show that doesn't have it. I remember going over east and we went to like a kickboxing show, and they had boxing as well, and there was no music. So during the round, there's no sound, and then the crowd was dead quiet, which means like at a Muay Thai show, the crowd is like, cheering and shouting and getting behind it, and it was just like you could literally hear a pin drop. You could hear the fighters like shh, shh, like as they were punching. It was crazy. It was so different. And I just feel like that's a part of it, like the music and all that is like. That's what gives it that little bit of heart and soul, right? Like
it's the culture of our sport, you know, and the spiritual side of the sport
and
as
it's
well.
maybe not. I think like you don't realize how important it is until it's not there, and it is sad, if it was to. It's obviously phasing out on some promotions and shows and blah 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 blah. But I think like I think once you're into it and you really get it, and you maybe go without it, you're like, oh, I actually kind of really miss it. It's the same. You need to talk with Adam. It's been live combat sport. It's been awesome, but there was a bit of a phase where they were putting the tail of the tape over the Ramoys, and then he stopped doing that recently, and it's sick because like when you're watching the stream at home, you want to see the Ramoys, like you want to you see it happen. So a bit of a tangent, but
No, it's good. I mean, most of these fights for the pro show are 5-3, so I want to go back to the traditions of the sport.
That's what I like. The Rajat and Nurm, they still have the 5-3s and stuff like that, don't they? Or
just for
5-2s.
title fights, I think.
Title fights,
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, well, good stuff, lads. It was good to like catch up with you. It's good to get
connect.
a podcast. Apologies to the listeners. It's been a while between drinks, but Christmas time's obviously mad, and Bhoondi's been away, and Gavin and I are like cavemen with technology, so we can't do it without Bhoondi. So thanks,
we'll be
Boone.
doing that. We'll become
Teamwork.
The next time we do one will be the
Post show.
post show.
Post show.
Yeah.
Post
For
show.
a couple of weeks' time.
Be-
Well, yeah, looking forward
be
to seeing you
looking-
down at Curtin Stadium, everyone.
Yeah. Look at everyone. Point at the camera and say bye to you. Bye to that. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Okay, you can say bye now, boys. Say bye.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you next time. See you at the show.
Nice gym, Chris. Nice gym.
Thanks for coming down, lads. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us on the FullerWatt podcast with your host, Gavin Fuller and Chris Watts. Be sure to like, subscribe, and please leave a comment. See you later.
It's good.
Woo, that was good, boys. Let's go.